Ferrari. The Ferrari 849 has just been revealed, but is it brilliant or is it a big mistake? I'm Jack Weston and we're going to talk about one of the most controversial Ferraris in recent times. Ferrari knows exactly what they're doing. They create designs that are drastically different and it gets people like us talking. So whether you love it or hate it, you're going to be part of the conversation. And that's kind of the point when it comes to their marketing. And in comparison, think about a brand like Porsche. When was the last time someone was talking about their drastic new designs, something really worth talking about? Other than the GT3 RS with that crazy wing, nobody's really been talking about it. So Ferrari knows big changes cause conversation and gets people looking at the brand, gets people interested in it. That's why so many people that never buy one still know about the brand, still see its prestige. And the 849 is no different. So my own connection with Ferrari was the drive we did in the 575 Maranello.
Ferrari? Ooh, gated manual, that is cool.
A very cool car with the manual gated box. Driving that car gave me a real appreciation for what Ferrari does best. It's a balance of elegance, theatre, and that very real feeling of driving something that is one of the most prestigious and recognisable brands on the planet. And once you've experienced that, you kind of hold that prestige to every single model of car that they bring out. That's why we're so keen to see what each new model brings to the table. For me, part of the magic of Ferrari is not just the speed or the numbers, but really it's that beauty, that elegance, that engaging drive. So the question is, will the 849 embody what is the pinnacle of Italian masterpieces when it comes to car manufacturing? Now let's get into the real stir, that name, Testarossa. If you grew up with the original, unfortunately I think the styling on this one just isn't going to do it. Without the side strikes down the side, I think the general consensus is it just isn't Testarossa enough. For someone like me, I guess it doesn't really matter. I didn't grow up around that car. I still think it's a striking car. When it comes to beauty though, that's really important with Ferrari, because if you're gonna own one Ferrari at some point, you want it to sound really good, you want it to make you feel like this is a great driving experience, but you also want it to be beautiful. That front end really does grab your attention. The side profile does look handsome and somewhat pretty, even though it is missing those side strikes. I do think the rear end really does look good and can even be called pretty. Keeping that black roof is obviously very stylish as well. So I think actually overall that car is pretty good from what we've seen. And I think with most manufacturers, it's quite evident that when we see it for the first time in photos and video, it's quite different to actually seeing it in person. I often find once you see the car in the metal, it actually just looks better. Unfortunately, what I do think is going to happen is this Ferrari is going to end up being one of those that collectors just buy and don't drive because they want to go up the list into the higher VIP section where they can get into the big cars. I would really like to see Ferrari selling more cars to people that actually drive them. It would be nice to see them out on the road more often. I think this is a step in the right direction, doing something a little bit different. I think the 849 has a real win when it comes to the interior. I think that's a real step forward. I think it's going to age well. Personally, I really like it in both red and blue with that black roof. I think that looks really good. I think the styling choice going with the black bar that goes between the front headlights, I've never really liked that. I feel they should just move away from it. I don't think it looks great. I think overall, it's actually a great design. I think it's got really nice flowing lines across the side. I think the rear end is really well done. I think the front's a little bit Marmite, especially that black bar I just don't like. That could be fixed though. I think overall, the 489 Testarossa has really grabbed my attention. I'm part of the next generation of Ferrari buyers. What cars stand out to me? You know, I would probably start 458. I've been in that car. It sounds incredible and it's a pretty car. I think the Roma was a little bit too tame. I think the 488 Pista was really on the money, but I feel the 849 has grabbed my attention. I'm very keen to spend a little bit of time around that car. I think keeping the V8 is a really important thing to do because a Ferrari's got to sound good. I'd really like to get your thoughts on it. If you was able to buy one modern Ferrari right now, which one stands out to you? And if you was going to spec the 849, how would you spec yours? I think if it was going to be my first Ferrari, I would want a red one. Of course, like I think everyone's got to go through that stage. But I think like a blue would be really quite handsome, maybe with a red interior. It looked really smart in black, but I've had black cars in the past and it's so hard to keep them clean and they look dirty almost instantly. Don't think I would choose that. But I'm really keen to test out some of these modern Ferraris on the road. There's the potential that something's going to be coming to the channel very soon. If you have any cars in your collection you'd be willing to let us put on the channel, I'd love the opportunity to just share my own experience with the brand in a modern Ferrari. So I really appreciate you watching. Please like and subscribe. Please get down in the comments, let me know what you think. There's plenty of us talking about Ferrari right now. What car would you pick? Where would you take it? And yeah, how would you spec it? Thanks for watching.